Hello fellow collectors and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at the DX NURSEDESSEI from Ultraman Trigger, and this is a big one. You can probably tell right away that the box doesn't even fit in frame all the way because it's pretty massive. It boasts 900 millimeters right here on the front of the box. In feet, that would be probably 2.5 to 3 feet, so it's going to be a pretty big boy. He's got the hangar mode, he's got the battle mode. If you've been watching the show, the hangar mode is what it's usually in, kind of the flying battleship mode. All the Guts Select crew members and team members are on there as they fly around and fight monsters, support Trigger, and all that kind of good stuff. But recently it's been transforming into the battle mode, which is this massive dragon mode, which resembles Nurse, which of course is the namesake, it's where it gets its name. And Nurse is just kind of a classic monster, kaiju from, Ultraman mythology, whatever term you want to use. He's a classic monster. So I think it's kind of neat using him in this way, getting kind of like a mecha Nurse to transform into their flying battleship. Just kind of a crazy idea. Now, there is a new head attachment you can buy that has a camera in it that you can use to kind of scan your vinyl dolls, and it works with an app. I didn't get that. I don't have the app. I didn't know if there's like a US equivalent of the app, so I just didn't bother with it. Maybe, in the future sometime I'll pick that up, depending on if I learn more about the app or if it works or whatnot. Or maybe if the camera just goes on clearance or something, because it's kind of expensive. This guy in general was kind of expensive, so the camera was kind of an extra cost that I just decided to pass on, because again, I didn't know if it would work over here. But in any case, this guy's pretty awesome. He's pretty massive. Let's take a quick look at the box before we get him out of here. So we got the Gut Select logo, we got Trigger over here. Of course, we got the Giant Dragon mode and the Hangar mode. Up top here, you just kind of get a close-up of the head, and then we just kind of have the name over here. On the bottom, not too much going on, just kind of has all the like warnings and whatnot. And then you have a quick little picture on the side here of the two modes. Over here on this side, it's going to be kind of hard to keep in frame, but again, just have a picture of the two modes. Over here, pretty much the same. And then if I spin it around to the back, it's really just kind of showing you the dragon mode, how it transforms, the hangar mode, how I guess the camera is supposed to work with the monsters, because it's kind of showing how that goes. And it's showing you how to switch it out. If you buy the new head, you can pop one off, pop the other one on. So again, won't be taking a look at that in this video. Maybe one day in the future, but I'm leaning probably towards not getting it, but who knows? I'll never say never, but leaning towards never at this point. So yeah, packaging's pretty cool. I'm going to go ahead and get everything out of the box here, and we're going to take a closer look. So here's everything you get in the box. You can see it is comprised of 4 main sections. We have these 2 leg sections here, which are identical to each other. You have this large section here, which is going to become the main body of the dragon. And then you have the head section here, which it's pretty big. It's definitely hollow. If you buy the one that comes with the camera, it's going to replace this entire section. All the electronics would be housed in here. That's why this is so huge. They just kind of kept it, for consistency's sake, and so they don't have to make separate pieces. This is kind of just where the electronics would be, but empty because it's the base version. So, but yeah, you get some nice silver paint here on the back. You get a Guts Select sticker on each side. Head sculpt looks pretty cool. You have some nice green metallic paint there, a little red there for the eyes. Very limited head articulation, but you can kind of rock up and down, and the mouth can kind of open and close a little bit. So not too much going on there. You have the cannon molded in his mouth, which looks pretty cool. You can see the horns on mine are bent a little bit. I don't know if I did that or if it came like that in the box. I kind of just noticed it, but yeah, a little bent, but not a big deal. But yeah, so that's the head section. Let's go ahead. We'll start putting this into the hangar mode. Basically, you're going to take this section, and this is exactly how it comes in the box. You're going to flip this out so that you can spin this little part around 180 degrees. And then you're going to just start kind of coiling this in on itself at every little articulation point that you can get. And you can see that there's a clip here and there's a clip right here. So that's going to clip into place. There's a peg here, and then there's a peg hole here, so that can go over top of that. And then you have another clip here and another clip right there. And so that just really keeps it nice and solid all together. I think this should be up. No, I guess this goes like this. Yeah, you can move this part around a little bit. I was going to say, I think that's wrong. I think it goes like that, just for clearance and everything. But yeah, so that is kind of the main section here. You can see how that really just coils into this brick. As you can see here, you have 2 connection ports here on the side, so that's where these are going to go. And this just clips on like so. And they want you to spin the feet around so that the front of the feet, the toes, are pointing up on both of them. So we're going to just go ahead and do that. And then flip this one around. And then we're going to take the headpiece. You can see the connection right there and the connection right there. And so that just clips right on there. And that's pretty much it. That is the hanger mode. I'm going to tilt this up just a bit. They do have an option, because obviously it would be nice if this had a stand or something, but they tell you in the directions that you can spin these down if you kind of want to have it almost be like a crawler. And if you want to spin the feet around, you can at that point. It doesn't really matter. You can kind of spin them around however you like. But I think this mode's kind of neat. Obviously, I like the flying mode because that's what we see in the show, but I think the crawler mode is kind of neat because this kind of reminds me of something like the clones would have used back in the Clone Wars for Star Wars. Like, they had kind of crawlers like this, and it just kind of reminds me of something like that. It's kind of neat. You have some nice metallic paint, gold and orange paint here. Guts Select written on the side. You do have a button here, so you do have some sound effects. I think that might be all of them. I think that's everything. It's like 6 or 7 for the hanger mode. There are no phrases or anything. It's all just kind of sound effects that you can cycle through. Now, when we switch to the battle mode, you hold the button down, and that's how it transforms into the other mode. That's how it knows to go back and forth. And there's about 6 or 7 sound effects for each mode, which is kind of cool. But yeah, so he just, he can roll like this, or you can flip them back up for the hanger mode. The one thing I do think is kind of neat, it does have the clips here underneath. So if you did buy the Guts Falcon that came out earlier in the year, it absolutely can clip in there. Clips right in there. Stores very well. So if you can have him flying around, let's swivel these back up. So you can have this, flying through the sky. And then I wish there was kind of a button to kind of release it, but there isn't, so you just kind of have to unclip it, but then you can have the Guts Falcon soar away into battle. I just think that's cool. I'm glad, because I saw these clips up top, and I knew something had to be, those connections were for something, and then obviously on the show, you see that's exactly how it clips on. So I was really hoping the toy would do this, and I'm glad that it does. So that's pretty cool. I really like that. And you can still, if you want to use it in the crawler mode, it will absolutely still fit. It doesn't hit the ground or anything like that, so pretty cool. I like it a lot. Alright, so as we get into the transformation here, I'm just going to apologize ahead of time. There's no way he's going to fit in frame the whole time. He's just too big. So just know that going into it, I will do my best. You probably already know what's going to happen here. We're basically going to kind of go back to how he appeared in the box. We're going to go ahead and detach these 2 sections here. Put those off to the side. Actually, we'll go ahead and transform them ahead of time now. So what we're going to do is swing these down and then swing the feet around. So you want the connection on the top. That's basically how these are going to go. And you kind of just want to make sure that the screws are facing to the back. I mean, you don't have to, but I just think aesthetically it looks nicer. So there we go. We have our 2 leg sections ready. So we're going to take this section here and we're really just going to unfold it. We're going to kind of move everything around and swivel this, and I will do my best, but this is going to go everywhere because it's just huge. So as we spin this around, we will come around to the head section and pop this all the way around. We are going to spin the head around 180 degrees, and then at the same connection point that I mentioned earlier, we're going to spin that 90 degrees, and then it wants you to, let me see if I remember how this goes. This then bends like this, and this goes up like so. We're going to bring in our first leg connection piece and pop that in here. And then the next leg connection piece is going to pop on here. And then I'm going to try to like bend the tail. See if I can do something with this. I think this goes down and this can kind of go. It's all about just kind of whatever pose you like. I mean, it really doesn't matter. Yeah, we'll try that. Just to kind of make things fit. But yeah, he's big. He's a real big boy. Yeah, he's huge. I can't get over how big he is. So, starting over here, we have the head, which you have so many different posability options here. You know, this can move around. You have a ratchet here, 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 here. And then for the tail up here, if I can actually get this to fit, this just kind of rotates around. It doesn't have a bend. I kind of wish it did, but it doesn't, unfortunately. So you got a lot of posability possibilities. But yeah, he's neat. He's neat. Just for scale, here is, where did I put him? Here we go. We have the Ultra Action figure for Glitter Trigger Eternity. So you can kind of see, just for a size comparison, you know, he's massive. I kind of want him to ride this guy like a horse. Can we make that happen? Yes, there it is. His noble steed. I love it. It's kind of ridiculous in all the best ways. I absolutely love that. So that's pretty cool. We do have some more sound effects here. So if we hold the button down, I think I already have it in battle mode. Let me see. Okay, so that's what it sounds like when you switch to hanger mode. If you hold it down again. Alright, so now we're in battle mode. I think there's 6 different sound effects. So I like that big blast at the end, but I'll be honest, 3 of the other ones sounded exactly the same to me. Most of the time when you get these sound effects for Ultraman toys, they're just kind of, you know, crazy beam sound, almost like a garbled mess, I'll be quite honest. They're fine, and it's nice that they include them, but it's not the selling feature for me, I'll just be honest with you, but it's cool that they're in there. But yeah, like I said, just the fact that he's riding this like a horse right now is really making me laugh. So I absolutely love this. It's got wheels on the feet, so of course you can have him move around in this mode as well. But yeah, he's just kind of absolutely massive and yeah, pretty great. Now I believe the connection port for the Guts Falcon is in the center here. No, it's actually here. Okay, so you're seeing that really ridiculously. So that is here on the back. That is where that is. So I guess technically we could still attach this. Maybe? No, the legs get in the way. So there you go. You can't attach this in the Guts Falcon. You can't attach the Guts Falcon in this mode. Not that it makes sense, but just to prove that you can. So anyway, yeah, this guy is pretty massive. So I think this thing is pretty fun. I will be honest, most of the fun comes from the fact that it's just absolutely ridiculously huge. I will say that that's probably the most fun for me is, you know, unraveling the full dragon mode, and it's just pretty impressive with how big it is. But I also really appreciate that it can compact down to this smaller hanger mode. That way, if you want to display it on a shelf and you don't have a ton of room, you can kind of put it in this walker mode. Now, you do, of course, have the flight mode by flipping these up, but without a stand or something, you can't really display it like this because it would just kind of be like this, and that's not really that great. But I do appreciate that the Guts Falcon can connect underneath. So if you did pick up that release earlier, that is completely compatible, which I really appreciate. And you can really just swivel these down. It's very simple to do, and it can completely just stand on its own. You can still attach the Guts Falcon, and you kind of have this like crawler mode. It's almost kind of a third mode if you want to think about it that way. Because I do feel like the flying mode and the crawler mode, they're pretty much exactly the same thing. It's just rotating this 90 degrees, but they do kind of have a distinct feel. I don't know why. This just, it feels different. Like I said, maybe it's because it feels like it's referencing one of those Star Wars vehicles from the prequel trilogy, but it does feel different to me. Like this kind of feels more like a ground-based vehicle than you have the flight vehicle, and even though they're not very different at all, they kind of have their own feel to them, if that makes any sense. But in any case, I think it's really fun. Of course, when you get to transform it into the giant dragon, that's absolutely amazing. I still can't get over how big it is. You can have, the figure ride it like a horse. I mean, that's just hysterical to me. You have some decent sound effects. They're not amazing. Again, they're not the main selling point, but I think they're pretty cool that they have, some for each mode. A lot of them sound similar. Yes, I'll just say it. But I still think it's cool that they include them. If you opt to pick up the extra camera head attachment, you just pop this off, pop that one on, you get even more compatibility. I think it can detect the vinyl dolls, and then it can interact with an app that you download. I'm not 100% sure how it works, but that's more functionality that's possible with this, so I think that's pretty cool as well. So there's a lot going on with this one, and I think it's kind of neat. It's pricey. It is pricey. I think this thing was $60 before shipping, so that's a lot, but it does have, electronics. It's got those sound effects in it. It's really big, so it's just a lot of plastic. You have a lot of nice solid ratchet joints, which of course you're going to need for the Dragon mode. So I think the price makes sense. It's big, and it's got electronics, so it's all there. It's just up to you if you're going to have to decide if you need it or not. So that's going to be up to you. But I think it's fun. If you have the money to spare for it, maybe wait for a sale. I think on HLJ it went out of stock already. Now, HLJ likes to mark everything discontinued, but I'm sure it'll show up again. I can't imagine it's a once and done for this thing. So, I mean, it is pricey, so maybe they didn't make a ton of them because they didn't know how well they'd sell. But I assume if they all sold out right away, they should do a second run. I mean, that just makes sense to me, but only time will tell. But yeah, I think this thing's pretty cool. I really appreciate it. I love the compatibility with the Guts Falcon. Some nice paint applications, a ton of articulation, electronics, and just, again, the sheer size of the thing really adds to the fun. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, thanks so much for watching.